Up until 1954, people said it was impossible to run a mile in less than 4 minutes. But that year, a guy named Roger Bannister was able to do it. And then shortly after, all these other runners were able to do it too. And that got me thinking, why couldn't they do it before? Why could they only do it after he was able to? Were they just not training hard enough? And I'm not talking about the casual runners. I'm talking about the people who do this for a living. This is what their lives revolve around. Well, of course not. Of course they were training as hard as they could, but it didn't make a difference. No matter how hard they trained, they couldn't break that 4-minute mile until their beliefs changed. That is how powerful our beliefs are. They shape our reality. They show us how we perceive the world, and ultimately they determine what we're able to achieve and accomplish within this world. So there may be some beliefs holding you back from achieving your own 4-minute mile. The problem is we're not always aware of what those beliefs are because we kind of get confused with what do we actually believe and what we think we believe. To give you an example, how many of you believe that a man has walked on the moon? Go ahead and raise your hand. All right, that's not a belief. That's an opinion. The reason why I say that's not a belief is because whether that's actually true or not, you believe it, has no impact on how you're going to function in your day-to-day life. A belief is an expression of a piece of reality. The key word there is expression. A belief is necessary in order to act and move about. So if you really want to see what you believe, don't ask yourself, what do you believe? Look at how you act. Because there's two minds within you, your conscious and your subconscious. And your subconscious is where your beliefs are stored, and that will show you what you truly believe. And the fact that we don't really understand this, but now we can make things more clear, we can get a better idea of how we can control this, if at all possible. But beliefs are complicated in how they're formed. It's like baking a cake. It requires multiple ingredients, and you might want to point out, okay, which one is the most important? Well, it doesn't matter even if you point to one. If you don't have all of them, you're not going to be able to bake a cake. Same thing when it comes to forming a belief. But the base layer of a belief is evidence, experience, facts, information. That alone isn't going to work. It's how's that information approaching you, right? If you have a belief and something is contradicting you head on, what are you going to do? Even if it is based in truth and evidence, you're going to reject it right off the bat. It needs to come at an equal level playing field. It needs to be, let's give you an example. Let's say someone has a low self-esteem. Maybe they think they're hideous. Right? Are they going to go in the mirror and start telling themselves, man, I'm a model. GQ should have hired me a year ago, and that's going to work? Of course not. But that's what we've been taught when it comes to books like The Secret and Think and Grow Rich. Remember when I got those books and I was practicing, right? Going for 3 months in the mirror, just looking at my imaginary Rolex, telling myself I'm going to be rich, waiting for my money to come. And after about 3 months of telling myself I'm going to be rich, it started to turn into I'm going to be rich too. Am I going to be rich? Where's my money? All right, well, I guess it actually does work, so it just takes 4 months, not 3 months. I guess my speech is over, but I actually can't believe I forgot to mention this. I actually am selling a few books at the back of my car. Come find me after the contest. It's The Secret, Think and Grow Rich. I accept all forms of payment, cash, check, credit card, Venmo, Bitcoin, gold, silver, you name it, I will take your money. But seriously, that's not going to work. You can't confront yourself. You can't confront your beliefs. Instead, go into the mirror and find something you can agree with. You know what? Maybe you don't like everything else, but I do like my hair. Good, start there. And then you need to persuade yourself. But you can't persuade yourself. That doesn't work. That's not up to you. So if you want to change your beliefs, pick one, find an equal level playing field, and then gather information, gather research. But you're going to have a tendency to be biased in doing this, right? You're going to identify this new belief that you want. And you're going to look for all the evidence and information that supports that new belief and all the evidence and information that's against the one that you hold that you don't want. Good, go ahead and do that. But also do the reverse. Look for all the evidence that supports this one that you don't want. And look for the evidence against the one that you do. The goal here is to be objective, to be truthful, to be skeptical, to be rational. You're not going to be able to trick your subconscious mind and try to put your blinders on. You're going to know you're trying to trick yourself. The goal here is to look for the truth. And you might be worried, well, what if the truth points to the one that I don't want? In reality, if something is really affecting you negatively in life, it's probably not based on the truth. But if it is, you're just going to have to accept it. You can't force yourself to accept a new belief. Think of it as like a Chinese finger trap. No matter how hard you try and force yourself out, it's not going to work. It's just going to get tighter. But if you give in, if you use power versus force, think of the tree that goes with the wind. It'll still be there after the storm's over. But the tree that tries to use force and stand firm, it will break down and will no longer be there. So this is an ongoing process. We're going to continue to gather research and information. But then again, you need that information to persuade you. So you're going to get multiple perspectives by reading a bunch of different books, listening to different speakers, because you don't need all of them to persuade you, but you just need one. And finally, my last tip will be to surround yourself with people who have the beliefs that you want. Because the best way to influence your subconscious and change your beliefs is through subtle ways. Ways that you're not really aware of, because again, power versus force. You can't force yourself to adopt a new belief. And by having these 2 or 3 best friends around you, you'll pick up on their habits without even realizing it. And then you'll start to change your behaviors. And as your behaviors change, you'll start to develop new experiences. Maybe you were bad with money before, but now all of a sudden you're realizing you have a little bit more money in your bank account. And these will add up, and you'll have to reconsider your old beliefs. Now at the end of the day, is this a foolproof method? No, not 100%. You're not really in control of your subconscious. That is like another being inside of you. It's 2 different minds here. But think of it like bringing the horse to the water. It's essentially what you're doing here. You can bring the horse to the water, you can't force it to drink. So you're increasing the probability though. You're doing everything that you can in your power. For those of you who believe in God, when you pray to God, you don't just sit on the couch eating potato chips and hope He does it all. You do what you can do, and then you trust in Him to do the rest. So you can do what you can do here to achieve your 4-minute mile, and then you have to accept and trust in the rest. Thank you.